Alright everybody, I admit it, I've messed up. A fair while back, this game, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, was announced, and to be honest with you, it looked like it was a game meant for me. It had rollerblade platforming, a bangin' soundtrack by the composer of Jet Set Radio, and it had cel-shaded graphics that looked straight out of the early 2000s. I mean, just look at this thing. I need this immediately. Well, the unfortunate thing is that the expected release date was listed as just future, which, yeah, that's pretty cute, but unfortunately for me, I'm living in the past, at least relative to you, the viewer. Now, I am a very busy person with a lot of important things to think about and ponder in my daily life, so I really don't think you can blame me when I say that I kind of forgot to keep up to date with this game. And as a result, I was very surprised a few weeks ago when I just happened to find out that it had already been out since August. But, well, I mean, the only one who you can really blame for that is Kirby. Yeah, that's right, Kirby, you dumb little... So anyway, better late than never, I guess, right? I've talked about Jet Set Radio on my channel before because it's one of my favorite games of all time. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look at this spiritual successor. So let's check it out. Developed by Team Reptile, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is an extreme sports platformer / skating game with some very obvious inspirations. Run around on rollerblades, skateboards, bikes, grinding rails, doing tricks, and painting the town with your gang's graffiti. I cannot stress to you how amazing this all feels. I mean, the team has done an excellent job with the feeling of momentum in this game. The game world is packed with all these interactable objects, like grind rails, billboards, telephone poles, ramps, and plenty of other things you probably shouldn't try riding on in real life. Going from thing to thing, jumping, grinding, tricking, you just get an amazing sense of accomplishment as you get better chaining everything together to basically just float through the game's many areas. Some of these areas are a bit linear, where they have a very defined path to trick through, such as the border of Versum Hill's pedestrian area or the radio tower in the bus terminal. But others are much more open to experimentation, like Brink Terminal's bevy of bus stops and elevated walkways which will warrant weaving with wondrous skill. A key difference from Jet Set Radio is that Bomb Rush Cyberfunk also emphasizes speed. It's not just about tricking and navigating through the urban cityscapes. While grinding, if you push the analog stick in the direction a grind rail is going to turn, you'll actually lean into the turn and gain a huge burst of speed. In Jet Set Radio Future, I didn't really like how you had to kind of mash the trick buttons to maintain speed on rails. While that same mechanic is present here in Bomb Rush, the twisty-turny level design combined with this leaning mechanic makes grinding rails much more speedy and engaging here. I wouldn't normally want to compare this game too much to its inspiration, but it's hard to avoid since this just comes out to be such a perfected yet evolved version of what made the original Jet Set so good. It's almost as if this is a long-lost continuation of the original series. I have to thank Hideki Naganuma for influencing my entire taste in music. Every work this man touches is so unique, but so memorable, each and every time. When I saw that first trailer that had his name listed for Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, I was ecstatic. And now that we have the full product, I can say without a doubt that he has still got it. While he only actually has 2 songs in the final version of the game, both of them are such a treat to hear, and I know they'll live on as some of his best work. Whoever arranged the rest of the soundtrack, though, did a great job of finding other artists that match the game's energy, and which have some of that same characteristic funkiness. They do span a wide variety of genres, so unfortunately not all of the songs will be a hit just on a person-by-person basis, but you can change the currently playing song at any time using your character's cell phone. Which, on that note, can I just say how awesome this little thing is? I mean, yeah, it changes the music and shows the map, normal video game stuff. But you can also take, not screenshots, but like actual in-world photos using the phone's camera, leading to some interesting results. When you're not busy taking photos like this, you can also play a very engaging and very complex, hard-to-master game of Micro Boy. Alright, look, I think it's very clear that a lot of love went into this game. There are so many little things to mess around with, like your phone, and there's so many secret unlockables, like extra characters, extra art pieces to paint, and even some secret areas and Easter eggs that hint at some extra lore. I can tell that the developers had a lot of love, not just for the original Jet Set Radio, but most importantly for their own game. And let me tell you, nothing makes me love a game more than when I can feel the developer's own enjoyment of their own product. There are some places where this game's limitations show, like how story cutscenes can feel a bit awkward with a lack of voice acting or even sound effects in general. But overall, it feels like a game that the developers made solely because they wanted to make something they would enjoy themselves. This design philosophy made for an incredible game that has the fun factor dialed up to 100 from start to finish. If I were to sum up my thoughts on this game, I think it'd be more effective if I recalled one of the earliest points in my first playthrough. After finishing the introduction section that, sets up the story, gives you a tutorial, you'll find yourself in your gang's hideout. Now, this is a really small area where it kind of just has enough things set up for you to try getting used to the controls, nothing more really. I think the developers kind of just expected people to do a loop or two, then head on out to the first main area to get to the real meat of the game, But me? Of course not. I was flying through this one area's tiny loop for what felt like hours, just feeling complete and utter joy at how much fun it was to simply move my character. Now keep in mind, in this hideout there were secret collectibles that I just was not able to access yet. But instead of advancing the story and unlocking the abilities I needed to get those things, I just kept grinding, tricking, and writing all across those rails for way too long. And to go off script here, actually when I was recording the footage of this part, grinding through the hideout, I accidentally went and did just that again. So I think I'm maybe a little crazy, but hey, the game's fun, sue me. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I think this game is an instant classic, and I really hope it gets recognized by more people than just you and me. If you've played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we can discuss it more in the comments section. Anyways, I've got to get back to, going in circles in the hideout again, so anyway, I'll see you in the next one.